Sully from Glory Days along with Nick Costco. We appreciate you spending part of your Saturday morning with us. Going to keep the high school sports conversation going right now with boys basketball coach from Ocean City, John Bruno. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Dave. How are you guys doing? Well, we got this long-time thing off to a good start. I taught Mark Damison.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, you picked up your 400th win this week, so I guess that means you've been around for a while.
That's what I keep telling everybody. That's really what that means is that, you've been blessed to have some good players over the years, but it took a lot of years to do it.
Talk about what that meant to you. I mean, that's a huge number when you're talking about basketball. You only play about 25 games a year, so you have to win, about at least half to two-thirds of those games to even be close to 400. So it kind of shows you've had some consistency throughout your career, and like you said, some great players throughout the years, and have built that winning tradition at Ocean City.
Actually, Dave, to tell you the truth, it's probably been the first number that made me realize how long it really has been. Because, like you said, there were some wins, some years in there where we won maybe 10, 11 games, but there were also some years where we won 17 or 18. So, a mix of all that, and you start realizing it, the number's pretty high. And I always do kid people that I'm also joke that I'm the losingest coach in Ocean City history too, which also means I've been around a long time.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's always interesting to me for coaches that have been around for they get these big numbers, but they also have kind of similar numbers and losses. It just goes to show that high school sports is a lot more about everything else that goes into it rather than just the wins and losses. I mean, you've been there for 25, 30 years, I guess now, and have made such an impact on so many kids. And how much more important is that than the actual win-loss record?
It really is. I think the younger you are, you get more concerned with the wins and losses, and if you stay with it, the longer it goes, you realize the impact it has on the kids. And every year, it's a different group of kids. So you're right in the fact that the wins and losses, of course, we all want to win, but it's always interesting when you see the coaches and some of my best friends, Joe Kessler and Paul Rodeo and that whole crew that has 700, 600, 700, 800 wins. People always say, you could keep coaching forever, if you have those kind of seasons, which to their credit. But I often use a guy like Scott Holden as an example. There were a lot of years that Scott would win 2, 3, 4 games, but we hung in there, and the losses were adding up to him, and were to his credit. Instead of he realized he's there for the kids, and now the last couple of years he's starting to reap in the benefits of that success. So it's always good to have those wins, but I always persevere with those coaches who maybe aren't as fortunate enough to win a lot of games, who still hang in there and realize that they're there for the kids.
Yeah, a great example of that coach is the Bridgeton baseball coach, Mike, down there. He does a great job with that program. They might win 1-2 games a year, but he's been there for 20 years. I think he has, the press did a story on him last year, or NJ.com did, I think, about what it was like to have 300 losses, and he only had, less than 100 wins. But he's been so important to that school, just bringing young men along and giving them confidence in themselves. Yeah, they might only go 2-18 in a given year, but he's been a bedrock of that community for so many years, and just goes to show what a high school coach can mean to just generations of kids, even if you're not going 25-1 every year.
I'd like to think that, because I can really relate to when the article I read last year about him. Not many people know it, but this will be my 20th year coaching softball, and I don't have 100 wins.
Right.
So as much as my basketball wins have been enjoyable, I've enjoyed those years coaching softball with those kids, because they're all out there working just as hard. Sometimes just the other teams are better. You can work hard. You can teach all the fundamentals. You were a baseball player. Sometimes you just can't hit that pitcher.
Yeah.
So if you can't hit the pitcher, and in softball, that's such a dominant position. Baseball, it's such a dominant position that the team could be equal, but the pitcher is separating it. So you could coach all you want, but you can't hit that 90-mile-an-hour fastball for a kid. So I do give a lot of credit for those guys that, regardless of whether you do win or lose, that you're out there trying to make the kids better. And I'm sure Coach is up there at Bridgeton, working hard just as all of us are, that win state titles.
Coach, did you have a little bit of time that night after you won? I guess Thursday night, you had a great win over Lower Cape May overtime, and that was your 400th win. Did you have some time to reflect and just kind of look back and be like, man, 400 wins and all these years and all these players, did a bunch of memories come rushing in at you?
For a few moments, Andrew Bristol has been my assistant coach for the last 16 years. So we were able to sit there and reflect on that. But to be totally honest with you, Dave, when the game is over, you're doing the same things you did after the sixth game. And so we're worrying about Egg Harbor Township. We already started talking about what we were going to do there, and it is kind of it's humbling. I'll be very honest with you. I'm friends with Jay Wright, and I know when they won the national championship, I had texted him and wondered about it. And then just for 400 wins, just the amount of texts that I got, I was thinking to myself, my goodness, there are so many people out there that care about you and you don't really think about it. And I say to myself, my goodness, what a very humbling experience this has been from that point of view. So that part of it was really it kind of shook me up a little bit to realize that many people would take time to show that they, congratulate you on such an accomplishment.
Coach, how much has Ocean City meant to you as a community? I mean, it's a really tight-knit community, and you've raised a family there and been such a big part of that school. It's got to be great to be a part of a school that supports you no matter what's going on from season to season, and to have athletic directors come and say, hey, you're going to be our coach no matter what, and that security that you have with your coaching job, your teaching job, the community, your family. I mean, that's got to be it's a great way to live your life.
It is. It was fortunate. I came down here. I had no real idea, whether how things were going to work out. But I have enjoyed all my time, at Ocean City. I know everybody throws the word family around a lot, but we've really had a good coaching family there. I owe everything that I kind of go to as far as Ocean City goes to Jack Boyd. The guy I have the most respect for ever. And if you think of Jack Boyd, there's nothing but a smile on your face, a compliment. He's always, I'll be 25-0 every year, according to Jack Boyd. But those kind of people, you think of all the coaches, the Dixie Howells, the Trish Lefevers, nowadays Trish Henry and Matt Purdue, and the quality coaches that are going throughout all our sports. It's just great to be a part of that group and get the support from the administration and the faculty, students. It was kind of cool.
Now, with Paul Baruffi over there coaching the girls, you guys have almost 800 wins between you guys, and you're kind of like the Steelers. You get a new coach every 30 years.
I thought when the season started, I thought Paul would get 400 before I would. So because he's done a great job over there with our girls, and there's nobody as passionate as he and what he does, and what really makes it worthwhile is that we're best of friends too. I know a lot of times some schools have a little animosity between the two programs, and his success has been overwhelming. And to me, I'm happy for him and all the success he has, and for the girls. And fortunately, like I said, we have a real good working relationship between the two of us, not only as coaches, but as friends.
We're talking with John Bruno, Ocean City boys basketball coach. And, John, did you get any texts from referees? I know you give them a hard time sometimes there on the floor.
I got a few. Like I said to you, that some of those guys are my friends too, and I just hope that everybody understands that I'm very passionate while the game's going on. When the game is over, win or lose, the game's over, and we're all people and we're all friends, and we just move on from the moment. But I do admit that in the heat of the moment, I feel the passion, and it's just my desire to want to win and do the best I can. But when it's over, we go back to being the people that we are, and I hope that's somebody that they respect and care for as a friend.
That's part of the whole show of basketball, the coach giving an earful to the referees.
Well, we like to think so. We as coaches think that. I'm not sure the referees think that all the time.
Coach, you also had a pretty cool moment in another recent game, I believe it was the Mainland game, where the entire Raider Nation student fan section sang you happy birthday during a timeout.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I think that was the first time that had happened. But it was funny. Tom Williams informed me that I'm actually like 8-5 on my birthday, and it made me realize, gee, in order to have a record of 8-5, 13 games on your birthday, that must mean you've been doing this a pretty long time, because the game can't fall on your birthday every year.
Right.
Only Tom Williams would know that I'm 8-5 on my birthday. But it was kind of cool sharing that moment with because the kids in the stands are as important as the kids on the floor. Because we are a school, and those kids support the players, and I hope that the players support the kids. I certainly enjoy walking the hallways, each day, seeing the kids as students. They don't necessarily have to be athletes. I just like the students at Ocean City, and it's been a pleasure to both coach and work with those kids in school.
Coach, real quick before we let you go, tell us about the Butch Gleason Memorial Coaches vs. Cancer Day. This is a thing you've been doing for a while now, and it's kind of cool. You get the middle school doubleheader going on before your doubleheader with the boys and girls Ocean City taking on EHT. So it kind of gives a nice feel. You get to see some of the younger kids coming up who are going to be part of your program in a couple of years. How cool has that day been for the last 8-9 years?
Yeah, well, speaking of Tom Williams, he puts on that great event, and it's in a great honor of a man, Butch Gleason, who was an Ocean City graduate. Unfortunately, we lost him a few years ago. But from the basketball standpoint, we really enjoy the idea of bringing the middle school kids in, letting them, it's the Ocean City Upper Township kids that are rivals for so long, and now they got to be teammates in a year. The other thing, too, we liked about this year was we really wanted to push to bring Danielle Brady back to Ocean City, and for all that she had done with Paul and what she meant to the program. So it's kind of cool that we're bringing in EHT, and we've always loved the doubleheaders. The girls get a chance to see the boys play, boys get to see the girls. We support each other, and I'm all for those doubleheaders. So when this one rolls around, obviously Coaches versus Cancer is an important thing all around the country, and it's great to be a part of something like that. So thanks to Tom Williams for pushing this event.
Coach, before we let you go, do you have any advice for some of the coaches that are kind of just starting out in their career? I mean, you have Jackie Siscone over at Holy Spirit, Jess Arturio at Cedar Creek, a guy like Cameron Bell over at EHT, very early on in their career. What kind of advice would you give to them as they're trying to build up their programs?
Just to be patient, the wins and losses, take care of themselves. I think today, to be very honest with you, is don't listen to the outside noise. Do what you've done, do what you believe in, stick with what you do. There's a lot of outside pressure out there nowadays with social media and, different things along those same lines. So just stay true to your beliefs, stay firm, and that'll exude to your players. If you see the confidence in yourself, it'll be in them. Wins or losses will come. Just do the best you can, because you're there for more than just the wins and losses. You're there for those kids, develop them to become young men and young women. And I hope that is, because I've been able to witness it. Some of my best friends are kids I coached. And so now here they are in their 40s, and we're best friends. And a lot of that has to do with the respect that you gained when you were coaching them as young teenagers. So just hang in there and stick to your beliefs.
Great stuff. As always, Coach, we appreciate it, man. And, again, congratulations on win number 400. That's a huge number in basketball and something to be proud of for sure.
Thank you, guys. Nick, and you guys, let's live with you on the play-by-play there, Nick and Dave. I really appreciate all you do for the high school athletes with Glory Days, this program. You do a great job for getting exposure to our kids who greatly deserve it. And I appreciate all that you do for them.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach. Have a great weekend. We'll see you out there in a couple hours.
You got it. Thank you, Dave. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Nick.